Midnight Confessions Act 1. The rain had been falling steadily over Brooklyn all night, a relentless drizzle that turned streets slick in reflections into distorted mirrors. At precisely 11:47 p.m., a piercing scream tore through the quiet of the small neighborhood on Monroe Street. It was a scream that could not be ignored, carrying a weight of terror that instantly summoned neighbors to their windows and balconies. Streetlights flickered under the downpour, casting eerie shadows across the row of brownstones. Detective Raul Martinez and his partner, Detective Lisa Chung, were first on the scene, sirens muted so as not to alert anyone who might still be in danger. The front door of 214 Monroe Street was ajar, rain dripping off the threshold, mingling with streaks of crimson that ran across the hallway. Inside, the living room was a mess, broken furniture, a shattered lamp, and the unmistakable sign of a struggle. Martinez crouched near the body of a man in his late 40s, dark suit soaked from rain and blood alike. "Blunt force trauma to the skull," he murmured into his recorder, voice tight. "Victim appears to have been struck multiple times. No weapon immediately visible." He glanced up at Chung. "We need perimeter security, witnesses, canvass the area, and get this forensics team here fast." A neighbor, shivering under a hooded raincoat, approached hesitantly. I heard shouting, it sounded like a fight. Then, nothing. Just the scream." Chung made notes, her brow furrowed. "Any description of the person? Did anyone see the attacker?" The neighbor shook their head. I just saw someone running. Tall, hooded, moving fast. Couldn't make out a face." Meanwhile, Officer Malik examined the small foyer. A gold chain, broken, lay near the body. Martinez picked it up carefully with gloved hands. A small, engraved pendant dangled from it. "This is personal," he said, staring down at the object. Someone knew this victim intimately. By midnight, the scene was a hive of activity. Uniformed officers set up barricades against curious onlookers. The coroner's van arrived, and forensic photographers began documenting the evidence. Every droplet of rain that fell onto the crime scene reflected the flashing lights of patrol cars, creating a surreal, almost cinematic atmosphere. Inside the building, the victim's wallet had been taken, but nothing else seemed disturbed. The investigators noted the careful destruction of the living space, chaos without robbery. Detective Martinez frowned. "This isn't just a random mugging. Someone wanted him dead. Personal. Targeted." A few blocks away, a young man named Jordan Hayes was walking home from his late-night shift at a diner. His path crossed the scene inadvertently, and police detained him after he matched a vague description from a nearby witness. Jordan protested, shaking his head violently. "I was nowhere near that house. I was just walking home. I didn't even know him." Detective Martinez raised an eyebrow but kept a professional composure. "Step aside, Hayes. We're following procedure. You're being questioned as a person of interest. Nothing more, nothing less, for now." As Jordan was led to a nearby squad car, the rain continued to pour, mixing with the growing tension in the air. The pendant that had been found on the floor gleamed under the forensic lights, gold against crimson, a silent witness to the horror that had occurred. Inside the precinct, reports stacked up. Witness statements, neighborhood canvassing forms, and preliminary forensic requests. Fingerprints from the pendant, potential DNA samples from the shattered furniture, and surveillance footage from nearby shops were logged meticulously. The detectives began piecing together a timeline of events, trying to determine exactly who had struck the fatal blow and why. Jordan sat alone in an interrogation room, rain-soaked coat still clinging to him. "I didn't do anything," he repeated, almost to himself, echoing the growing tension in the precinct halls. His fear was tangible, but so was the sense that he had been caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Detective Chung reviewed a nearby camera feed and froze. A shadowy figure, taller than Jordan, hood up, moved briskly across the sidewalk in a direction opposite to where Jordan had been walking. Martinez leaned over, eyes narrowing. "Looks like we may have our real guy, but we still have to do due diligence. Jordan may not be our culprit at all." By the time the early morning hours arrived, The streets had cleared of civilians, the rain tapering off into a fine mist. The pendant rested in an evidence bag, glinting ominously under the fluorescent precinct lights. The night had ended in tragedy, but the threads of mystery were far from unraveled. Somewhere in the shadows of Brooklyn the truth waited, hidden in the storm's aftermath. As the first hints of dawn broke across the skyline, Jordan Hayes remained in custody, fearful but steadfast in his innocence. Outside, the city stirred awake, unaware that a new legal drama was about to be set in motion, one that would demand sharp minds, dogged investigation, and the unmistakable flair of Daniel Reeves and his team. The rain left slick streets, broken evidence, and a single question lingering in the air: who had delivered the fatal blow? The shadows of midnight had spoken, and soon, someone would listen.